What's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 76 of the Always Race Day podcast. After a little hiatus, we will get into that in a little bit. First, I want to tell you guys that we are brought to you today by the Carl Auto Group. Damon, does your college football offense have trouble moving down the field?
No.
Does it seem as though the ball comes out of someone's hands and doesn't find hands on the other end?
No.
Does it feel like the offense just isn't original or creative enough?
Yes.
Okay, well, that was a curveball answer there. Jeez. Well, if that's you, if that's your team's offense, I feel bad, but why don't you make up for it? Get yourself a little midlife crisis car that is both fast, creative, mobile, and if you put your hands on it, it will unlock itself if you hit a button on your key.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, signal, transfer, all that stuff. Anyways, Get down to the Carl Auto Group, get yourself a car, get from point A to point B. I've done so many variations of this ad, and I tried to fit Spencer Petras into it.
That was a good job.
Almost did it. I feel like it crashed and burned at the end, but
I don't think it did. I just wanted to throw you off a little bit. I also think our offense could use a little more creativity.
All right. There you go, Tom Manning. You heard that. How was your obviously if you guys follow the racing site and you don't know stuff about us, we're both Iowa State guys. I cover Iowa State, so that's why you're seeing Iowa State stuff all over your timeline from me if you follow me. So apologies if you don't like college football. Then I guess you have something a little wrong with you. That's the moneymaker job, and I have a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, how was your Cyhawk weekend, Damon?
Dude, it was soggy. It was wet. It was slow. It was watching. It was like watching two people fight in a pool. It was really what it looked like for majority of the game. However, God, it was fantastic to the point that so I watched the game because they rained out the race at the Kansas Speedway. We made our way back. We watched the second quarter on from the camper. We were not in any shape to be walking, let alone watching a football game and actually having common sense about it.
You really missed the worst parts of the game.
No, I know I did. We watched it. We watched the first quarter from inside the track. And we watched the second and third and fourth quarter from outside the track. But it was unbelievable to the point that after they missed the field goal, I went and celebrated and lost my flip-flop down a water drain at the racetrack. We had to dig that out of there. So it was a hell of a party, man. I'll tell you that.
That's impressive. Yeah, that's really impressive to just lose one flip-flop, especially down a drain.
Yeah, I went to jump, and I was running out towards the road to celebrate with all the other people that were there. They had no idea why we were celebrating, but I did. And as I was running out there, my flip-flop flew off my right foot and went down the drain. The real thing is we got it back. That's the most impressive thing.
Fishing pole or what?
Actually, we had a broomstick, took the manhole cover off with a crowbar, and we were golden.
That's awesome. Obviously, I covered the game, but I've got a nice Busch Light here with the Fanatic koozie from Cody Road. Appreciate them. Throw some money our way sometime. Just gave them a free ad.
Hey, Cody Road. Cody Road, when do we get our label?
Go buy Cody Road and tell him you bought it for Always Race Day and tell him to sponsor us.
Yes.
Really pressure him into it. That'd be a fun little
That would be awesome.
exercise.
Chris
is gonna get on me for taking his sponsors.
Parade of people walking into the distilling company.
No, I think y'all saw enough of I guess my tweets from being at the game and then We went back, had some drinks in Des Moines when we finally got back. Fun night. Game for the history books. That's the second game I've covered for Cyclone Fanatic for football wise. And shoot, man, like that. That's a damn fun game. And if you're an Iowa fan, we're going to stop talking about it as much. And I withheld many things I could have said about Spencer Petras, but I think it's been said already.
By Iowa fans.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're not going to analyze that they have the worst quarterback in the nation right now. 8-year-old me that was like bullied by kids at school because Iowa State lost to Iowa on a certain week or in a certain year, he would be envying this day in history where Iowa's offense, at least, is the laughingstock of college football, along with the quarterback. It's 8-year-old me would love it. Me now and my deceased grandfather that loved the Hawkeyes.
You still love it.
He's got to be up there just ticked. Not pissed, because the defense and special teams for Iowa, damn good. Elite. Insane. Like, this formula is working right now for him. But we'll see what happens the rest of the year. Maybe we'll give updates on stuff. We're going to go back to 2 episodes a week. It really got hectic. Sorry we're not doing this Sunday night again, but it's been a hectic week leading up to that game. It's the Super Bowl in this state. It's why we didn't have anyone down at Boone Super Nationals. If anyone volunteered to cover it for free, if it's on that date, I'll give you the keys, but I hate that they do that. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I did want to say, obviously on the losing end of the Cy-Hawk rivalry, it usually sucks. But there's no way you can cheer for that rivalry to go away. Because when you win, it's the best thing ever.
Well, depends.
I think, in my opinion, in my unprofessional opinion here, Iowa State could lose the next 10 games. I'd still be content. It is my Super Bowl, personally.
I would be pretty pissed.
I'm just throwing shit at the wall.
Games. However, it is a big thing to win that game. To some people, they don't really they claim they don't care, but boy, they're the biggest shit talkers when they do win it.
It happens on both sides. There's people throwing stuff at Hutch in the end zone.
Yep.
It happens on both sides. Let's get into racing. All right. We're on the racing podcast. I forgot about it for a minute. And we always do the catch up with your weekend thing. So usually people know to fast forward 7 minutes if they don't want. They don't care about us as people.
Well, they should start caring about us as people.
Yeah, I agree. Come on, guys.
Ridiculous.
Let's go into the biggest news of the weekend first. Okay. The Monster Jam Stadium Series schedule is here, and it's vibrant, and I love it.
Where are they going?
Well, Camping World Stadium. They're going to the baseball fields. They're going to
what baseball fields?
Anaheim, Oakland. Actually, they have their World Finals in Nashville on 4th of July weekend.
That's kind of badass.
I really wanted to go to it, but NASCAR has their street race in Chicago on the same weekend.
Oh, that's been confirmed now?
I think it was confirmed when it was announced.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I think it is. I think it's confirmed to be July 1st through 2nd or whatever. I'm not sure though. Let's kind of go through the weekend. I guess people are going to be listening to this on Tuesday. Should we start with Kyle Busch?
Yep.
So if you're listening to this Tuesday morning and it's before 9:00 Central Time, it looks like Kyle's going to drive for Richard Childress Racing next year. It looks like it's going to be a third car. Tyler Reddick is not going anywhere as of right now. And this is not confirmed to me, but by reports from Motorsport, Sports Business Journal, Jeff Gluck, The Athletic. I think Jordan Bianchi broke the story, actually. But what are your thoughts on Kyle Busch at RCR?
Boy, it's a big change from the Hold My Watch incident from 2010 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You have Kyle and you have Richard Childress. I would say two of the most polarizing people in the sport, honestly. Richard's been around forever. He was the owner of Dale Earnhardt's car, and now you're putting a guy who has, quite honestly, similar talents, similar styles, similar demeanor that the man in black had is going back to, or is going to a RCR. And I think that it's a twofold thing. I think this is a great thing for Richard Childress Racing. They get better if this happens. If and when this happens, they get better instantly. Their cars don't have to change at all. Their talent level of the facility doesn't have to get any better. But with Kyle Busch walking into your building, you instantly get better. It's also going to make Austin Dillon better. I mean, Reddick obviously is going to be moving on, so his 1 year with Kyle will be interesting. But it is going to make Austin Dillon better moving forward. The second fold in this is Joe Gibbs is really going to take a hard hit because you've got Kyle leaving. Martin Truex is going to retire at the end of next year. That's my take moving in. I think he's retiring at the end of next season. So now you've got those two guys out. I have a feeling Denny Hamlin is looking for a third car, and I wouldn't be surprised if Denny Hamlin heads to drive for his own team within the next couple of years, especially with the emergence of what's going on with Kurt and not being able to race. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happening sooner rather than later. So now you go from Joe Gibbs Racing having 3.5 veteran guys to possibly one true veteran, and now a stable full of people that are making their first cup starts or limited cup starts.
Yeah, okay, that was a lot. You threw out
there was a lot to unpack there, yes.
I think I don't know if Truex is ever going to retire. I think it's insane that Eric Almirola is not going to retire and what's going on there. Like, do I think Almirola is a better driver than Cole Custer? Hell no. Sorry to the Almirola heads, Almirolaniacs out there. My bad.
I don't know. That's a pretty even. I think they're pretty even. I think
Almirola is a back of the middle of the pack.
And so is Cole Custer.
As a veteran racer, Cole Custer's in his second year for the shittiest powerhouse team on speed. By far. Come on.
You can't. Second? Isn't this his third year?
Third doesn't change, but it might be.
Does change. Changes a lot.
Custer won an Xfinity title. Custer is fast for their Xfinity program.
In an Xfinity car, yes.
I'd take Custer any day.
I wouldn't.
Eric Almirola lucked in the one win at New Hampshire.
Eric Almirola brings money.
That's awesome for him. I had Smithfield Bacon yesterday.
Yeah, he brings money, and he's a good driver. He's not great.
Are you calling Cole Custer a bad driver?
I'm not calling him good.
Maybe if they put him on a fast team.
He is in one of the fastest Fords.
Ooh. One of, as in like, there's a team with 3 cars, and all 3 of them are faster than all 4 of those cars at Stewart-Haas. The Wood Brothers car is probably on par, probably faster, but it's got a rookie in it, so it's hard to see.
You're telling me that Ford is funneling better equipment and better stuff to the Wood Brothers and Rick Ware Racing than they are to SHR?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying SHR has some catching up to do in terms of their results and how good their program is.
They've been doing that for the last 3 years.
And they haven't caught up very much.
You're right, because nobody is good in their cars. If they have 2 talented drivers in their cars, we saw what they can do. They had Kurt Busch and Harvick there at the same time, and they were really good, and it made the entire organization better.
Mm-hmm.
And now they don't have that veteran presence outside.
They have Kevin Harvick.
outside of you don't gotta let me finish for
well,
one.
that's what you're gonna say, but I mean
Yes.
that's the same guy.
Outside of Kevin Harvick, what else do they have? I'm not saying Eric is gonna go out and win you 7 races anytime soon. He's not gonna win you 3 races anytime soon. But he is a better driver than Custer is. You don't see Eric Almirola wrecking race cars all the time. You don't see him in the way all the time.
I don't necessarily think I see Cole Custer wrecking race cars all the time, and if he
I
does,
don't know
probably
about
a good
that.
amount of them where tires falling off of it.
But saying it's his cars. Don't wreck them.
All right, we got to get back on track here. Bubba Wallace picks up his second Cup win at Kansas. Pretty cool to see. Second non-playoff driver to win, so that's crazy. I think if we could stop with the 16 drivers in the playoff narrative BS next season, that would be awesome, because it's very clear that it's possible to have 18 winners. They have talented people in this series. It's diverse in its talents. It's diverse in driver strengths, and the schedule is as diverse as it gets, and they're adding a street race next year, so
Stupid.
Literally will be the most diverse schedule in the world, and I couldn't say that if they didn't have a street race, and God forbid they ever go downtown and do something unique.
Stupid.
What do you want, a third race at Martinsville? That would suck. Isn't that crazy how we're saying that right now? Because like 2 years ago, we would have loved it.
Well, I'm not wanting a third race at Martinsville. But there is a perfectly fine facility just on the outskirts of town.
I understand.
By the way, is bringing drag racing back. NHRA announced their schedule, and Route 66 Raceway at Joliet is got a national event for next year.
Yeah, I wish they'd just race at Chicagoland again, but I wish Chicago got 2 races and this was the second one, the street race.
Well, you're going to be very disappointed when it's a bad race.
I don't care if it's a bad race. It's an event.
It's a bad race.
It's the Winter Classic.
It's a bad race.
Like having the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro.
That's an event.
The Chicago street race is not an event, but the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro is?
Yes. History.
Okay. Chicago, history, city of champions.
Are we trying to be IMSA or are we trying to be NASCAR?
It's one street race, Damon.
I get it, but they also added 7. They've added 7 road courses.
Yeah, take some off. I don't take Road America off. I don't agree with what they did there. Take the Indianapolis road course and shove it in the trash can and never get it out, please. Please. I don't care if it's a good road course or not. Race the Brickyard. That's another event. I think NASCAR's right there with that. If they could get back a race at Chicagoland, if they could get, and I think there's going to be tracks that have 2 dates this year. I think there's going to be tracks that lose some.
There needs to be something, but I'm not a fan of a street course. I don't like it. It's not NASCAR.
Why not?
Plain and simple. It's not.
The only way to pass on the course is going to be bumping and banging. That's not NASCAR?
No.
Feel like rubbing his racing is pretty high up there on the pedestal of what NASCAR is made.
I'm not a fan of a street course. I don't like it when IndyCars run on them, even though they seem to somehow make it work sometimes. But their street courses generally are the worst races of the year.
It isn't easy to make cars good on a street course. That's kind of half the battle. But I think having one is fine. I think having 2 would be too much for right now. You see how this one goes, you kind of move on. I think it's shitty that Road America lost that race when they sold out. Yes. I can't believe after everything that's happened this weekend, we're talking about this, but here we are. We're going to get to all that stuff.
Maybe. I might be left by then.
I know. Geez, you're spinting me already.
I'm just saying that the street courses I'm not a fan. I don't like it. It's a bad idea.
All right, let's talk Bubba Wallace. I loved what he said, saying like, what are the haters going to say now? That was awesome. I think it's hilarious. There's people that are like, I can't believe he said that his mom told people on Sirius XM to kick rocks, and there's people like, I can't believe someone would talk like that. The audacity, and I can't even believe they spelled that word correctly, writing that Facebook comment. It's ridiculous. The freaking hate Bubba Wallace has to go through. And it's not, some people are pretty quick to say like, oh, well, I'm not being racist. I just don't like Bubba Wallace. What's your problem? You're telling me kick rocks is like, what? Like offensive to somebody, rocks? Maybe, I guess if you got like a couple rocks knuckling around in your brain up there, sure. It takes a lot for me to call someone dumb because I don't think I'm that smart. I'm a 24-year-old kid just talking my butt off all the time. I think it's insane that people go out of their way to hate on this dude who's just seems like a fun-loving dude. He's had to open himself up on the biggest stage. He's got one of the toughest jobs in having that spotlight on him. And I think it's just absolutely nuts that people go out of their way to hate on the guy. And he just won at freaking Kansas. And, you know, you got the same people that are like, didn't he slow down for him? And didn't he said on TV, he said, if you're driving for me and you expect a free win like that, you can get another job. So cleared that up real quick, the quote unquote team orders there, I guess. But I was impressed with him. He kicked ass. And it was good to see him do it on a, I guess, 1.5-mile racetrack with no rain. Even though it shouldn't, he has 2 wins. Mm-hmm. I'm good. I just needed to say all that. I get, dude, every time you mention him, you get a racist in your comments that is picking him apart, searching his name up on Twitter. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll put this out there. I'm not a Bubba Wallace fan. I haven't ever been, even when he was coming up. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of people who play victim in certain situations. And Bubba did that in his Xfinity days coming up when he'd get wrecked or he would wreck somebody and it would be somebody else's fault, or in his truck days, I guess, when he was with Kyle Busch. And part of my hatred started because he drove for Kyle Busch. And I don't like Kyle Busch.
That's fair. And I think few and far between people like you.
And so that's why, you know, it just, I don't know. I try not to say a whole lot because then, you know, I'm going to be deemed as the next one that gets.
I wasn't trying to say that to you. It's the people that
I don't say a whole lot when it comes to things like that, but the reasoning I don't like him, same reasoning I don't like Ross Chastain. I don't like the victim card being played all the time. If you're going to do something, own it. If you're not going to do something, then don't do it. But own what side you're going to be on. Don't play victim today and go and be all-American badass next week. That's all. That's what I don't like about certain drivers. That's why I don't like Ross Chastain, and it's why I don't like Bubba in certain situations. I think Bubba's grown a lot. By all means, and he's becoming a likable person, but then again, don't put yourself in a bad situation don't give people ammo. I mean, you know, people are going to hate him because of you know, political reasoning or racial reasoning or whatever. Don't people are going to hate him just because of that. Simple, plain enough. That's the way it is. Unfortunately, that's the society that we live in. However, don't give people more reasons to fire you up and get fired up, I guess is the best way of putting it for me. So, do I think what he said is true? Absolutely. Do I think what he said was cool? Absolutely. But, you know, I guess my thing is
you didn't like him before the crap happened, and now you're in a real tough spot when anytime.
So now anytime I say something about Bubba or something gets brought up, I don't say anything because it's a bad situation. And so now I'm deemed, because I'm a white guy that doesn't like Bubba Wallace, I'm deemed as the next racist out there.
And so I got to make sure everyone else knows I was not calling Damon one of those people. It's far bigger difference between what Damon just said and the shit that gets thrown out anytime you mention Bubba Wallace's name in a tweet. You don't even have to have a story up. Just one tweet with the words Bubba Wallace is in third in stage 2.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah, so we did something different with the show today a little bit. I just sent a tweet and said, like, tell us what you're interested in, what you wanted us to talk about, stuff like that. So I got a few questions. I don't want to do them all at the end because I feel like we'll just touch on all the topics anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to have people write the show for us. I just knew we haven't done one of these in a week. So I wanted to make sure we didn't miss anything, you and me, and also that just people got to hear what they wanted to hear. And I'm sorry if you're an Iowa fan an Iowa dirt racing fan probably hated the first part of the show because they can't admit
That's all right.
that NASCARs are exciting.
They'll get over it.
All right. So Josh Betts asks, after the championship race at Phoenix, how many total different winners will we see the Cup Series season end with?
Good question, Josh.
We're at 18 right now through 28 races. So 8 races to go.
Well, I think Truex gets a win at some point this year. I think Blaney gets a win at some point. So there's 2 more right there.
You're going 2?
I would say, and there's an outside chance. Yeah, I would say 2. Yeah, 2 will be my. So I could see us getting to 20 different winners.
Okay, so that just
and hell, who knows? Who knows? You got Ty Gibbs still driving a car out there too, and we know his talent level, and he's only getting better as we go on. So we just saw what that car can do, what that team can do. This is their second straight win at Kansas. 23-11 dominating Kansas this year. Bubba owned the last 50 to 100 laps of that race. And
Kurt Busch
going back, what's that?
Kurt Busch in the spring is what I thought you were.
No, I'm saying this yesterday.
No, I know. You're good.
Kurt Busch dominated the spring, and Bubba did the exact same thing here in the fall. Give props to the guy. I mean, he's like I said, to get to where he's been, he's had an uphill battle for Bubba. And so that was a big win for him. And he dominated the back half of the race, which was impressive. Didn't have the mistakes that we've seen both out of him and his crew. And I would say, and this is, something that you'd have to ask him, but I would say this is probably the most complete race Bubba's ever ran in his entire career, was yesterday. So, 23-11's got good stuff. I guess starting where that was going is I think Ty Gibbs has an outside shot of winning a race. And so I could see us at 20, possibly 21 winners.
Okay. All right. So I can't go with 2 more. I can't go 20. I either got to go 21 or I got to go 19. 19. I'm saying 19. Give me Ricky Stenhouse or Ryan Blaney at Talladega. Or Bubba Wallace, but it is already strange enough that 2 non-playoff drivers won the first 2 playoff races. Mm-hmm. Mostly because no matter what you think of NASCAR's playoff format, and you're probably the same dipshit spewing at the end of the season that the 4 guys in the championship race are leading the championship race at like lap 125. It filters out the teams that can't perform better than everyone else on a week-to-week basis.
Right.
I truly believe that the 4 guys left at the end of the season, minus maybe 1 or 2 Cinderellas in the history of the playoffs, the 4 guys left in that final race, the past 8 years, whenever they started, are the 4 best teams in the series that year.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Isn't the championship race supposed to be the best 4 guys?
Yeah.
In that time span, and so obviously the best 4 teams are going to run up front. Isn't that the way things go?
And I know I do a lot of format hating, and I'm going to get into that with Eldora, but the reason I hate on it is because I don't truly believe that the 24 guys that make the Eldora big events, both on the sprint car side especially, and on the late model side, as we saw this weekend, I don't think they're the best 24 in the pits that day.
Yeah.
But we'll get back into that when that comes around. I think the championship format can be complicated a little bit. Is it pretty straightforward and very heavily centered on wins? Yeah, it is. But you know what? Like, great teams find ways to win races. It's not very often you're going to go for a championship without any wins. I think Matt Kenseth did it once. But here's the deal. If you're that consistent, you're still going to point your way in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. So,
yeah.
Cutoff race. You're good. Cutoff race Saturday at Bristol. We don't usually do a lot of previewing on this episode of the week, but Damon, what do you think we're going to see out of these cars at Bristol?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It is concerning. Yes, it fixed our 1.5 mile problems, but overall, this car's been kind of underwhelming at some of the great racetracks that NASCAR goes to.
Just the short ones have just sucked.
Well, some of the road courses have sucked. Sonoma wasn't very good.
You didn't think so?
No, I didn't think so. It was really strung out. I thought Road America got strung out outside the top two. I mean, it was strung out. I think third place was 13 seconds back. So, I think some of the road course racing is kind of taking a hit on top of the short course or on the short tracks.
That's good. That's why they're going to a street race next year.
Yeah, so that's going to make it worse. I'm glad that not glad. I'm excited to see what. God, I don't know what the right word is here because I'm not really excited either.
I think you go into this Saturday kind of like you went into the Cyhawk game, and like there's going to be fireworks. If it's
there's going to be
something good, really bad.
I think there's going to be more torn up race cars at the end of this Bristol race than we've seen at any of the other short tracks. I think there's going to be people that aren't afraid to use a bumper. Now, if they can get there is going to be the biggest question. That was the concern at Martinsville. We haven't had a true short track since then. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and I do hate that they didn't think like, hey, let's change the gears up. Let's do something to try and salvage this to, take a swing at it. And I get that we're in a competition here and that it has to be fair to everyone. I think that's something that the late model dirt community could learn a lot, that it's a competition, not a circus.
Are you salty?
I'm going to contradict myself a little bit here and just say, like, everyone's on the same playing field for that one. I would have liked to see NASCAR try something this year. And if not, at the very least, I hope they change something in the offseason. Because you cannot have snoozers over races like that in Martinsville, in Bristol, and at Richmond. It just, that stinks. We're going to have to turn Richmond into a full-time dirt track. Or Bristol. I meant Bristol. I swear I meant Bristol. My bad, guys.
I'm concerned because of all the shifting. I don't like it. I think it's hurt it. And yeah, like you said, you can't afford snooze fest, especially when you look at all these promos from those races, right? You think back at the Richmond race, you think back at the Martinsville race.
You remember the Martinsville race? We were at a World of Outlaws race, and everyone was just telling us how bad it was.
Well, and what's all the promos that going into that night, right? It's Denny Hamlin punting Chase Elliott. It's Alex Bowman punting Denny Hamlin. It's Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick spinning on the last lap to get a playoff spot. All these promos are these badass shots from these from this race, and yet we go to this race. And it's probably the worst short track race we've seen in 30 years.
Yeah, I almost want them to ask them to build another car, but build short track cars.
I want them to give the teams.
What if they just ran an Xfinity body and whoever was leading the Xfinity points at that point in the season?
That's just it. Why are you we're going off topic again, but why are you reinventing the wheel when you have a car just in the Xfinity series that is fantastic and it puts on great shows left and right? That's a big thing. But the other thing too is give the ingenuity back to the teams. Let the teams be creative. That's what made this sport so good. That's what made North Wilkesboro fantastic. That's what made Martinsville fantastic. That's what made Talladega fantastic, is because these teams would come with all these little trinkets. And yes, it's a little bit cheating. I get it. Sometimes you got to live in the gray area.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. We're very early in the era of this car. There's certainly a ton of stuff to talk about of it. Kind of over the off season, and will they fix the safety stuff? And I think they will. I'm not trying to ask that as a question, but
they have.
Yeah. I'm talking in a circle in my own head right now. Before we get to dirt, I wanted to say IndyCar finished off a great season. In my opinion, Will Power, dude, that guy's so good. Mm-hmm. He's so good. Like 9 podiums this year, 1 win the entire season. You know what? If Joseph Newgarden doesn't have a mechanical failure and nearly completely break his back, I guess, whatever injury he suffered at Iowa Speedway, he wins the title. And it's unfortunate for him, but he's a dog. He's going to keep fighting. He's going to get up and do it again. And I love that dude. He is awesome to listen to. But Will Power breaking the poles record, Mario Andretti's this year, and then going into the title and leading the race. He's gone into the final race 4 times before this, leading the points, and only once did he come out with the title. So for him to do that and win the pole this weekend and lead the most laps, I think maybe Palou led the most laps, but he was up there and just dominance from Will Power. I was very impressed with him. I also this is going to be a hot take for diehard IndyCar fans. I hate Portland. I hated that race. I thought it was a massive snooze fest. I did not think I did it justice on the podcast we recorded last time. I just don't like Portland, man. People are like, it's a unique, cool racetrack. It's the only time I've ever seen a race at Portland was the IndyCar race there. And it only ever comes into my mind the week before IndyCar is racing there.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to an oval for the second to last race of the year. That's just me. Very fine tunnel vision take, but
so Team Street Course is jumping ship here or what?
Portland's like a raceway, isn't it? Or is it street?
It is. No, it's a raceway.
That's what I thought. But yeah,
it is a road course, but you're asking for more ovals.
Oh, definitely, absolutely more ovals. I think IndyCar on an oval, especially like Iowa Speedway, IndyCar at Texas this year, Gateway's
IndyCar needs to go to Richmond.
I think if I was I would love for them to go to Richmond, Milwaukee Mile too. Completely agree with you. I think IndyCar at Iowa, and y'all are gonna laugh at this today. We were saying it after the race happened. We said IndyCar might have just saved Texas. IndyCar at Texas and IndyCar at Iowa, and specifically first at Iowa, is the best, most consistent, absolutely electric on-track product you can get. Mm-hmm. I swear to God, it is by far the best. I love seeing those race cars on short tracks like that. I would love for them to go to Richmond. Richmond needs some excitement. Give it to them. They deserve that. So I think we've town halled ourselves here.
We
got to get into dirt stuff because we got some questions about it.
Okay.
First off, hold on. What did I do? Here we go.
You tweeted.
Right. This is from at Blinny10 on Twitter. His name is just Ghost. I like it. It's kind of badass. Mysterious.
I like that name.
He says, I'm excited to see if Jonathan Davenport can get $2 million in earnings for this season. So if you don't know yet, Jonathan Davenport won the World 100 this weekend. It is the usual biggest race of the year in dirt late model. action. The other one is the Dirt Late Model Dream, but of course this year there was the Eldora Million. So the Million kind of supersedes that, but Jonathan won both of them, and Brandon Overton won the makeup to the Dream that they finished the portion that got rained out earlier this summer, this past week. On nails, on rails, whatever you want to call it. Dude's amazing. I think they can get there if they want it.
How do we know what he's at right now?
Let me look it up and see if I got an update.
I wonder if Dirt on Dirt shows it or not.
It's not JB57. That's not his name. I don't want to get his name wrong. Jackson Braun. So it's Jackson Braun on Twitter. JBraun57XR is his @ name. He does the money updates once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what this year's World 100 paid, actually.
I can tell you that. Who promoted it? Who is the
Dirt Car Racing promotes it, so it's like a joint type of thing. Like it'd be under the Outlaws, but their website doesn't mention it. That was always the weird thing of like when I looked at late model racing, like it's not on any of the schedules. You know, so he was at 1.54 coming into this week. He made over 100 grand, so he's at 1.6. Yeah, I think he can get there if he wants to. He'd have to race every weekend pretty much, but that would be a spectacular year.
Yeah, it would be, no doubt about that. What is the final few big races pay this year? Do we know?
There's still some 50Ks coming up with the Lucas Oil Series in the Dirt Track World Championship or whatever. I think might be 100. I know Knoxville on Saturday pays 50, so we'll be there too, covering 3 days late model racing with the Iowa State Ohio football game on Saturday in between. So,
just as an update, Davenport won 55,000 at Eldora on the 10th, so on Saturday. So
that's only 55,000.
That's what it's listed as. Dirt Car Supers by Eldora, 55,000.
That is nuts.
He won 12. He won 12 on that would be Thursday night, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then Overton won 128 on the 7th.
All right, so I guess the Dream would be the second biggest and the World is the third biggest.
Yeah.
That is weird. I thought the World paid more than that. We might.
According
that's what you're seeing. It's on EldoraSpeedway.com, right?
No, this is on Dirt on Dirt.
Okay.
It's all the late model schedules.
That is odd. I don't know why I thought it paid more.
Yeah.
Well, you know how it goes. Anyways, so I guess we can say the Knoxville Late Model Nationals are bigger than the World 100, right?
That's exactly what you can say.
It's 50,000. It's in a cooler racetrack in a cooler city with cell reception.
Well, I don't know about that.
I think I hit all the boxes there in the right.
I don't know. Your
it has a cooler format. It has a better format. Every lap actually matters. What's that?
What about your cell reception though?
At Knoxville this weekend?
Your cell it's not
It'll
very
be good. You can't have 1 million people there. As opposed to the 10,000 that go to Eldora.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm glad we got that taken care of.
Yeah, I want to make sure we're on the same page there.
I hate complaining about formats, but same old BS format. If you're going to have 2 crown jewel races, at least differentiate them a little bit. And I guess they do with paying one far lesser than the other, but I don't like their format anyway. I think there's a lot of good race car drivers that miss out on it because you spent 2 days making sure the fastest ones were higher in points, and then the 36th highest points finisher got to start in first of a 15-lap heat race that quite literally is the first heat race of the day when the track is the hardest to pass on. I think in every aspect of what you want in a 3-day racing event, it completely throws out the competition category and completely moves into an elephant and the lion fighting each other at a circus.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to put it.
It's entertaining chaos.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to put it. Yeah. I guess then talk about what you like about Knoxville's format this weekend.
Yeah, so like the points get set on the prelim nights. Yeah, they have inverts for the heat races. I'm not an invert guy for the final race, but if you invert races during the week to set points and to have guys pass each other, I think that's the best way to do it. And you're going to end up with the fastest guys at the top of the charts. And then Saturday, they're going to line them up for the A. Like that, it sets the lineup for Saturday. Yeah. There's no BS heat races you got to go through because you just did 2 days of qualifying for this massive race that you want to have. And you have more qualifying races on Saturday. I think that's stupid. No, you don't go to a race to watch qualifying. You go to a race to watch the race. What do you talk about when you get home from the race? You talk about the race. How many times have you gotten home and you're like, man, that heat race was way better than the feature we saw?
Well,
maybe twice in my life I've seen that.
Yeah, I mean, I probably
very rare occurrences.
Times,
So yeah, that's my opinion on it. We're setting it Thursday and Friday this week instead of Saturday. I never got the it's nice to go to the dirt track and see the qualifying and see heat races and see the full event. I don't care about that. I've never cared about that. You go for the race. If you want to be there longer, get there earlier. That's quite honestly, go sit in the stands for an hour and don't watch anything because watching qualifying can be like that too. So, I don't know. I'm bullish on that. I'm never going to change, never going to deviate from that. That's just me. Do you want to talk about Ricky getting DQ'd in the droop rule thing?
I don't know if you really want to talk about that. You kind of sounded off on that the other night.
I jinxed the heck out of him. I was pissed about it.
Yeah, you generally do jinx a lot out of it.
I was being tongue in cheek a little bit on Twitter with the droop rule, but I read up more about it. I don't love the rule. I'm definitely leveling.
Is it a rule that you can live with?
It's a rule that everyone else seemed to follow.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's, I get why Ricky is ticked off about it. And I would be too. And I was absolutely ticked. I actually texted Jared. I said, Ricky Weiss just won at Eldora, clones by 76 tomorrow. Or I said clones by 1 million. And then he got DQ'd 5 minutes later. And I texted Jared back and said, never mind, DQ'd, Hawks by 76.
Yeah. And you called me probably not even 15 minutes after it was announced.
I was ticked. And yeah, I'm going to sound off on it because here's the deal. You don't DQ the guy from the A main to finish last out of 100 cars.
Oh, they moved him to last?
Yeah, he finished 82nd in points.
Oh, that's not, no. Okay, now you have a reason to sound off.
That's what I was more pissed about, was that doesn't make any sense. The dude was 3rd or 4th in points after night 1, and now he's 82nd because you said his car was half an inch on the ground. So you said, okay, 97 guys are faster than you now.
Yeah, that's bad. 24th, I understand. Last, no.
Completely ruined their weekend. You have all these teams that are trying to make it with high gas prices all around the country, and they're getting lower, but it's not easy to do it. And they spend all this money to go to Eldora, and you can have the best 2 days of racing in your life, and you know what it gets you? It starts you 6th in a heat race. Maybe. Right. Or your car's an inch off the ground and you get 82nd in points. There's just, that's where the circus comparison comes in. I hope I've came off intelligently in this because it's something I'm very passionate about. It's something I think is very wrong with Eldora and how they handle stuff. And if anyone has connections to Tony Stewart, I'd love to talk to him about it. See, that's Damon. That's called leaving it open for them to defend themselves.
Hey, you normally don't do this, so it's
No,
kind of a breath of fresh air.
There's very rare times where I'm giving any open invitations on the podcast, but Tony Stewart and Ross Chastain, for that matter, you both got one.
You
and please, no one take that as I don't like Tony Stewart. I love Tony Stewart. So
I do too, but yes, I get what you're saying 100%.
Let's World of Outlaws. How about that?
There's a question with that, don't you? Isn't there questions with that one too?
There is, yes. I'm getting to it, Damon. Don't pressure me like this.
Hey, let's get to it.
Damon wants to get off. He wants to stop doing his job.
No, I've been doing my job all day, Connor. What do you think I've been doing?
Our buddy. I don't know. I'd have to look up the record of the women's bowling team from last season so I could say something about that.
Well, we have been working. We had practice today, first day.
Did you do conditioning?
Not at practice. They do it at strength and conditioning.
Oh, does coach join in?
No,
that would be a good thing to boost team morale. You know that?
No, it wouldn't.
You guys tweet Damon tomorrow. Tweet Damon on Tuesday and let him know how cool it would be if the coach joined in on conditioning with his guys.
I don't think it would be that cool personally. See, I am old and I just, I got bad knees.
Yeah. And you would just sit there and battle through. You would show how you can overcome adversity. And if
I would need an oxygen tank.
If Matt Campbell's 6th grade girls softball team can do it, then you can too, Damon.
Well, see, he is the best damn 6th grade softball coach there is. That's the difference. I am not the best damn bowling coach there is right now.
I tweeted this today, but can you imagine looking across the dugout and being like,
I saw that.
Coach,
I saw that. I cried when I saw that. That was awesome.
I mean, you can't punt in softball. So his biggest weakness right there, that you don't have one.
He's taking it away. Yeah, absolutely.
You can't cry in softball, so your plan B is gone too. Because I would think it's like gender insensitive to say you can't cry in baseball, but you can in softball. So you're pretty well screwed here. All right.
I know I am.
Our buddy Blake Dowell from Twitter says, Jacob Allen, that's it. He's got to be one of the leading stories of the year. My question, do you think it continues to improve? Or if you do think it continues to improve, could he be a legitimate title contender next year? The thing is, I don't think he's been bad all year. How he was before his breakout this season. I think the whole year has encompassed his breakout, right? And he's 8th or 9th in points. So I could say yes, optimistically, and I think he's going to get better. But do I think he could compete for the title next season? I don't know. I think it's too early to say. And quite honestly, if I say that now, I would have to say it at Volusia too.
I'm going to say no, he's not a title contender. Like you had mentioned, he's not been bad, but he really hasn't been that good either. It's
going from 0 wins to 5. Is the
right
part. You don't see that a lot, especially out of a veteran guy.
Right.
It'd be like Casey Kane getting 5 wins next year.
He might.
He hasn't won yet.
He might win. He's got a car that is dominant on the points right now. So who knows?
He dropped off the tour, by the way.
He did. I saw that.
Okay. I just want to make sure
I saw that.
You're good.
He'll get more. He's fine. My biggest thing is I think overall Shark Racing has to improve because
I was going to make a point about that
because they haven't really taken that championship level step, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, if you guys don't know Damon, aside from being a Bubba Wallace hater, he hates Shark Racing. Him and Logan Schuchart have a long-standing feud. I don't know where it stems from.
Logan Schuchart doesn't know who I am.
He knows who you are. I don't think he hates you though.
No, he doesn't know who I am. I don't hate him either.
Well, that's the first time you've ever said that. Nice.
I don't hate
I'm
him.
glad you've changed your mind.
I don't hate him as a person. His car is not capable of winning races.
His car went second in the championship in 2020. It almost won.
In 2020, COVID.
Every year that Shark Racing has been on the World of Outlaws circuit, they have improved. Aside from 2021 from 2020. Now, what have they done in 2022? They've improved.
Have they, though?
Yes, I think they have. Combined wins, they definitely have. Even if it's only 6, and I think it's 7 or 8.
My biggest thing with it is I don't think that they are capable of consistently running right there with Brad.
Okay, yeah, and that's fair. And they've got to take another step next year, but I think their track record shows that when circumstances are normal and when they're not having a shortage on engines and they're pretty well, what should I call it, organized, I think their track record shows that they have an ability to improve. So would I be shocked? I would probably today predict that both guys finish higher in the points next year than they do this season. I'm too far out to call Jacob Allen a title contender for next year, though.
I don't think as an entire unit right now that they're not a title contender. I'll be put on blast if they do, but I just don't see it. I
will pay Logan for his first championship tweet to go to you.
I hope you do. I hope that's the case because
Logan, crisp $20 bill if you're listening to this, buddy.
Hell, I'll add a $20 in just.
All right, well, we got $40. We're like 1/10 of the way to sponsoring his race car for one singular night.
There you go.
A small sticker maybe on the top of the tire.
We're already there.
All right. Our buddy Dawson Elliott, he's from Open Wheel Updates on Twitter. Give them a follow. It says he asked the continued development of Ryan Timms, Corey Day, and the rest of the 16-year-olds is his thing he's excited about watching. And I agree. I think we've covered the young guys on this podcast a lot. They had great weekends. Ryan Timms almost beat Kyle Larson in Check It in A-Main, not a heat race. Point stands. Okay. That race kicked ass, and Ryan screwed up a couple times. Kyle took advantage of the second time he screwed up. So if you screw up against Kyle Larson once and you're still in the lead, I kind of have it in my mind that you're at least a little bit good at racing. And, if you screw up twice and you lose to him, at least you still ran second. And he's opening eyes every time he gets in a race car, and proud of the kid. Excited to call him a buddy and watch him continue kind of growing in his career because he's got the talent to do it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see which one takes the biggest step next, right? We're always looking forward. We're always looking ahead and who's going to do this and who's going to do that. So
what are we all going to do when Buddy Kilfoyle is racing for Joe Gibbs Racing?
Dude, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It could happen.
It might.
It easily could.
Go ahead. We'll get to Buddy in a second.
I think it's going to be, I think it's big. I think I want to see, which one of them takes the big step next, who goes on a tear and wins 4 or 5 races in a row or 4 out of the next 7 or something like that,
or like 3 in a weekend at Houston and Jackson.
Who steps up as the guy that actually challenges on a regular basis anytime that they are in the Outlaws are in the area, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm looking for.
I'm glad they both seem focused on 410 sprint car racing. I think there's a sort of aspect of it's not their money, but money and time just somewhat wasted when you go midget racing too long when they're on the up and up. But that's just right now. That could change. The Extreme Outlaw Series is a big step in changing that. I hate how low the purses are. just in that side of things. And that's why we've seen so many people switch. So I like that they're in 410 sprint cars, and that's where they're learning stuff, because that's how you should learn to drive the cars that you're going to drive. And yeah, I'm excited to see if any of them go to NASCAR. And, you know I'm going after the dirt purist today. Again,
That's fine.
I'm sorry. I'm giving the Formula One fans a break today. This is only fair to everybody. Okay. We have to spread the love here. But if one of these prospects, whether it's ends up being Buddy Kofoid, Brent Cruz, Ryan Thames someday, this is not rumors that they want to. It's not rumors that it's going to happen. It's not rumors that it's being talked about. I'm just saying that if any of them were to go to NASCAR, it would be a very good thing for dirt racing, because it would be not pivotal really, but a laddered path from dirt racing to NASCAR again. Not that you need that, but to show that dirt is viable in producing talent. Kyle Larson is a great example already, but he was in NASCAR when he made, I guess, his name, right? And then he came back and did a little both and won the big dirt races while he's racing NASCAR. Now he's like the ground paver for how big dirt racing is now. He's a big reason why it's huge. That was kind of the first modern guy to do that, really. I'm not like Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, 90s. You got to get further and further to have a guy that's had success at both. And so, if one of these dirt guys goes, cheer loudly for them. Cheer like you do for Kyle Larson, for all these dirt guys that go into the Cup Series, and, hope that they do well. That's the best thing you can do, because you hating that they left sprint car racing to go race NASCAR does not do anything for anybody. Trust me.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself.
I'm going on way too many rants today. Buddy Kofoid is the question we got from Paul Sutton. Give him a follow on Twitter too. He's awesome. One of my buds. He says, I'm really excited to see how many more wins Buddy Kofoid can get in USAC. This is in the midget tour. 9 is insane. Who knows how many it will be by the end of the year. And lucky for you, Damon, I have the schedule pulled up almost right here. I just threw my phone at my laptop. You can make fun of me if you want.
No.
All right, we've got 2 at Eldora for 4 Crown. 1, 2, 3 in October. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 races left in the USAC season for midgets. How many more does Buddy Kofoid win?
10, and he's won 9 through how many races this year? Do we know?
30 something.
Okay.
Estimate.
I would say, just based on statistics, he'll win 2.
Okay, I'll go 3 and just one up you.
I was actually gonna say 5, but to be fair, I'm gonna take 2.
I was gonna say 5. I didn't want to sound like I was too big of a Buddy Kofoid guy.
I do like Buddy Kofoid. It's a cool dude.
Yes, he is. Very smart dude too.
Mm-hmm.
He knows when to no comment.
He does. That he does.
Right. Last thing, Anthony Macri took home $60,000 at the Tuscarora 50. That's rough. That sprint car race paid more than the World 100 that was ran on the same day.
The World 100 paid $5,000 more.
Tusky 50 paid $60,000.
Oh, 60. Okay.
But yeah, that is rough. You're positive that's this year, right?
I literally just looked at it, but you can check.
Oh, well, now you're making me feel bad about it.
You should. Because I'm right, but you just don't want to admit it. I get it. It's understandable.
No, I thought for sure it was $100,000 and like one whatever the year was for the dream. EldoraSpeedway.com does not even post the purse on it. That's weird. Okay. Well, Damon's right then.
I'm going to look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
No, you're good. I just want to make sure it wasn't like a 2012 thing, because when I click on Dirt on Dirt links, that comes up sometimes.
Nope. I'm just gonna look it up.
What, a baby in the background?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's the neighbors.
Oh, okay. Before you made that distinction.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely the neighbors, not mine. You can keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
All right. Well, Anthony Macri took home a big one at Port Royal. Good for him. That's his racetrack. I feel like you can name him, ceremonial owner. What's up, Damon?
Never mind. Time out. You gotta recheck. Keep going.
Okay. No, Macri, he's awesome at that track, and I love that track. It's my favorite one in Pennsylvania. Our buddy Ayrton Jennison got rookie of the race. That was pretty cool. Cool event. Glad they could up the purse all the way up to 60 grand for the weekend. That's sweet. That's the All-Star Circuit of Champions crown jewel race. It stinks that it's when the Outlaws are out of town. Logistically, I don't have a better solution for them. But yeah, it's cool that they have that, and it's cool that Anthony Macri took it home. Very excited for him, and shout out to Danny Dietrich and Logan Wagner for helping out Dylan Sisney after that accident. So that was cool to see after getting out of the Cyhawk game and getting on the way home and everything. And a lot of stuff went on Saturday. Jeez. Fun weekend, though.
Yeah, a lot of stuff did go on.
More fun weekends coming up. The late model nationals are going to be huge. I'm excited for them, and can't wait to see who shows up, who does what they do. And 75 grand to win, or I'm stupid. Sorry, 50 grand to win the nationals on this weekend at Knoxville for the late models. It's 75 lap race. There's a change in it. They used to do 100, so there shouldn't be a field stop now in the middle, which, Knoxville's a big track. It doesn't necessarily need 100 laps. I'm a field stop guy. Just have a long race. Who cares? I like it. But go ahead, Damon.
All right. Directly from Eldora Speedway's report.
Is it 55?
It says 55,000.
That is sad, man. Jeez.
So
there's like 12.
I will expect a written formal apology letter from team officials.
Okay. Chris will get right on that. It's at the absolute bottom of his to-do list.
I am gonna put it on the wall, kind of like Jamie Pollard did.
All right, perfect. I'll have something sent to you, I promise.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, you guys shoot us your questions anytime. I'll save them. We'll go back to them on the podcast. I hope you liked how we did this one. I don't think I forgot anyone, but if I did, I'm sorry. We'll get to you. But I like doing what we did here today. So send us your stuff anytime. Not every episode is going to be like this. But we just want to try new things and see what clicks. Throw a lot of crap at the wall and see if anything sticks. That was not supposed to rhyme like that. I hate that I did that. God. All right.
You're a rhymer.
Yeah. Rhymer anytimer.
See? You're just killing it.
Yeah, man. So cringy. All right. We'll see you guys Thursday morning, Knoxville Late Model Nationals preview. And we will be watching the dirt sling around that racetrack Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. Come out there and watch some racing. Late models are fun too. Unlike the shirts that I had no hand in designing the shirt that just said late models suck, period. But I do like how blunt it is. And I won't be wearing mine this weekend because that race usually rocks. Can't wait to see who shows up, what everyone does there. And our buddy Ricky Weiss, fantastic at Knoxville. Podium last year. Can't wait to see how he does. So, Damon, you got anything else?
No, it should be a good week. Looking forward to seeing it. Castrol Night in America with more late model action coming up as well. So
yeah, Fairbury Tuesday night.
Yeah, Fairbury's always puts on a good show. So busy night, busy week for the late model boys. Yeah, and pretty soon we'll be talking a far more silly season than we did today because Damon just goes into an argument about Cole Custer against Eric Almirola for some reason. Hey, I'm just can't imagine who brought that up. I can't either.
I'll have to listen back later and do some investigating.
Yeah, it may begin with with the guy that thinks Cole Custer is talented, but it's fine. It's whatever.
He's an NASCAR Cup Series car. He's got to win. He has as many NASCAR Cup Series wins as Spencer Petras in the Iowa offense have offensive touchdowns this season. It's one.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And Bubba Wallace has double that. Fun with numbers, let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
yep.
Thank you guys for listening. Damon has not been too much of a comedic relief today.
I'm not falling for these traps anymore, folks. I'm tired of falling for the traps.
We'll get him in the meeting room and we'll get his act taken care of because it's not very 5-star culture right now.
There will be a new co-host by next week. The way it's sounding to me.
All right. Thank you all for listening. Enjoy the week. We'll see you Thursday morning. Appreciate it.